Live from the bedside of your mother, it's the Hate Bit Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the most excellent podcast in the history of podcasts, especially compared to that shit that goes on in Scotland. I am the immortal Yo Chaos. Joining me, as always, Grouchy White Guy Magazine's Man of the Year, Mr. Razor Fist.
There's a podcast in Scotland that isn't devoted to slobbering all over WWE's hairy knob. Are you sure? Are you sure? I'm Razor Fist, ladies and gentlemen.
God fucking speed. I love that part. No. And of course, a great man, a wonderful humanitarian, making Pittsburgh prettier, one golf swing at a time. My man, your man, Alpha Omegason.
It's time to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of gum. And I'm also going to make Bulletstorm somewhat more relevant. Maybe, possibly, probably not. Oh well, I tried.
You mean relevant at all?
Yeah, look, I love Bulletstorm. That shit was fucking fantastic.
Yeah, but you're one of like 5 people that played it.
I honestly am, but anybody that I shoved the game into the hands of, they're just like, hey, this is kind of neat. It's just nothing but gimmicks, but still fun. Fuck it. Play the game. It'll become what is it, full clip edition? Is that it? I forgot what the fuck it's called. I don't know. It has Duke Nukem. It'll give me a reason to go back through.
A real rousing endorsement. Welcome to our show. We got a great show for you today, and we hope you guys enjoy us. We know you just saw us on Friday, and that's no big deal. I mean, you know, you guys would come here all the time, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you? Because you're desperate for entertainment. It's either this or Monday Night Raw, and fuck that noise. So welcome to the program.
We are all just in time for me to say, before we get started, before we commence with the festivities. Yell Chaos, you fuck. You have a Starfuck shirt on.
I do.
You fuck.
I do.
I am jelly. Although I do have a nice Star Fox Zero banner over there.
See, I don't have a fucking banner, and that's what's wrong with this country. There's not enough banners to go around, I think.
Hold on. We
banners great again.
We should not ignore that Razor Fist is wearing a very fantastic Daggerfall shirt.
Fuck yeah.
Because I mean, hold on. Here's a question: where the fuck do you even find a Daggerfall shirt? That's first and foremost my question.
Are you ready for this? I didn't have to go Roman. They sell them on the Bethesda website. They're right there.
Really?
Yeah. They also have a Bitch and Dark Brotherhood shirt with the hand, and it says "We know" right under it. It's really bad.
That is shocking.
Dude, you had the opportunity to tell the coolest joke, like you got it when you were in Bulgaria or something like that. But no, you bought it off the Bethesda website.
We'll see. I could have gone on a big Jay Peterman rant.
Could have. That's all right.
So what do we got in store for?
Well, I want to take this opportunity before we get to the humorous portion of today's program to remind everybody to check each and every one of us out on the Facebook, on the Twitter, on your Instagram and all stuff. Again, Instagram, get all those fancy pictures of, well, never you mind. The point is go there and check it out. Also, don't forget to subscribe to us right here on YouTube, and also each and every one of us. You'll find those links down below if that box is still there. I don't know. They constantly make changes. I don't know. I don't care. The point is, we're here hopefully to stay. Please make sure you follow us. It's a real good time.
And don't worry, we're not just here and on our YouTube channels on social media. Our names get dropped all over the fucking place by a lot of bitter fucking bitches. So there's that. So don't worry, we're making the rounds everywhere, even when it's unintentional.
Yeah. And people are real, you know, they run their mouths, especially when we don't tour the islands or anything, you know.
And it's always weird because some of them think that they run the Facebook page too. We're like,
yeah.
That's weird. It's so fucking odd, man. I'm just treating this particular episode like fucking Hiroshima. Look at all that.
Oh,
he didn't say names.
There's Fat Man in more ways than one. How about that? Oh, that was a pun. I think. Yes. No one's gonna do anything about it. But anyway, also make sure and check out all that social media because it's good for your life. You know, because you could follow faggots and shit, but you don't want to do that. So make sure you do that. Also, if you have questions, comments, and concerns, please drop us a line, correspondence of any kind at hatebitpodcast@gmail.com. We thank you very much for joining us on our program. And before we get too far along, we got to mention the elephant in the room. It's making its rounds on the internet, and that's that the Nintendo Universal Partnership has announced and unveiled their new project, which will be available just in time, I understand, for the Tokyo Olympics. That is Super Nintendo World, which is said to be a very Mario-centric, or so I've heard, theme park attraction inside Universal Studios. I forget if it's Universal Japan or Universal Tokyo. A lot of speculation, not a lot of details. A lot of people drawing their own conclusions. That's what the internet's for.
They did show off that nice little piece of concept art, and they did have a couple interviews.
Yeah, they showed up concept art for No Man's Sky too.
Well, that is true, but I have a lot more faith in something like this just because the Nintendo name is actually associated with it. So there's at least that. But
the flying spaghetti monster.
Well, hey, we are all technically a flying spaghetti monster if you get to look at the brains, eyeballs, and our nervous system just completely detached from everything else. We are a flying spaghetti monster.
Yeah, but like Andros at the end of Star Fox 64.
Dude, and you're supposed to do the shirt thing.
Yeah, you're supposed to. Good luck.
They showed some interviews with the people that are working on the actual theme park, and then Miyamoto was there as well discussing it. And they said that some of the things aren't just rides, that they're supposed to be interactive. So I'm kind of curious exactly like what level of interactivity that they're talking about. Like, are we going to be running into places actually like jumping and hitting fucking question mark blocks, or picking up poltergeists and actually catching ghosts, kind of like in the Luigi's Mansion arcade game? Or
I was thinking about that. I was thinking about that because I did get a chance to play with the Luigi's Mansion arcade and the brand new Mario Kart arcade when I was at GameWorks in Las Vegas, and they do feel like they are leaning towards attractions, interactive attractions, not unlike what some stuff that Sega did in the early 90s, like Radmobile and Super Hang-On were more akin to being attractions.
These going to be like 4D or whatever the fuck, where you get in, you strap in and you got a screen, and then water shoots in your face, and then there's jism on your chin.
I can totally see some shit like that happening, because there was this one arcade game that I had fucked around with, and I completely forget the name of it, but it was a horror on-rail shooter. And when you sit inside of it, the entire back in the seat of it would shake violently. And then it had a heart rate monitor built into the handles of it. So while you're playing, and then there's like a camera and a bunch of other shit. But I could see them doing something similar with Nintendo properties out there. I'd totally be fine with that. I'm wondering, like, exactly how far are they going to go with this? Because I think of all the Universal Studios rides that they had. Now just apply that to Nintendo and let your imagination just run wild without, like, pythons and shit. But what would you guys guess?
I'm trying not to guess because, I'm only going to set myself up for disappointment. But we have to realize that I don't know how much money can really be thrown at something like this, considering that this is a bit of a gamble. Because, you run that very fine line of, is this going to be a new experience that'll catch everyone by surprise, or the same old shit you've seen at Disneyland and things like that?
I mean, this gives Universal something to kind of compete against Disneyland and Disney World, though. If you think about it.
I'm just wondering, is this seasonal? Is this permanent? Because I know they do things like they rigged up a Silent Hill during Halloween season. I remember that. They licensed with Konami, which I really, really wanted to see it, but I didn't get to. I think it was only in Florida. I don't think it was at Hollywood.
Making it, I can't see them making it seasonal, just because with the amount of money and now kind of advertising in a way and marketing that they've been going with on it, despite how early in production this is, it doesn't seem like they would ever go and build something like that up. And then
all I want out of this is somebody rig up a series of red rafters and have them going up slowly on a minor gradation, getting smaller at the top. Then I want a princess hanging out at the top, and I want barrels and flaming shit and ghosts and so forth falling down. That's all I'm looking for out of this. If I get that, I cream 11 colors. That's all I'm saying.
I
A giant ape at the top.
I just want Mario Kart. I want them to somehow find a way.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I don't know about you, but I want to get a job throwing barrels at tourists.
That's a good idea, man. Fucking Mario Kart. Because they already got go-karts at every fucking major theme park that's ever been invented, you know?
I mean, I don't know exactly how they could go about it, but I think that
anti-grav's going to be a bitch.
Yeah, today 5 children died because someone shot a banana peel onto the track.
I think about some of the shit that they would have to do with it. And I mean, there's all sorts of different, you know, like we've had advents in technology to allow for like a lot of possibilities. And I don't know exactly what kind of applications would have to be applied to this to even make the concept like from game to real life feasible. But man, would it be fucking cool. Even if they didn't have all the weapons and goofy shit, if they just gave me Mario Kart looking carts and then just put me out onto a track that was all designed and prettied up, I'd be fine with that. I wouldn't even give a shit. That would be enough for me because I've gone go-kart racing once in my entire life, and that's it because that place doesn't even exist anymore.
You're missing out. We used to have a theme park out here that I wanted to go to so bad. I finally got to have a birthday there one year, and it was slightly disappointing, but it was still pretty cool. There's a place called the Outer Limits. And it was like alien themed. It was like galaxy alien themed, and they were. It was so 90s. They were right on down to the like shitty animatronic band that sing the song at the end. You know what I mean? And they were all aliens, and like the third alien from the right's head was like barely hanging on by a spring and shit. Like it was like a fucking Simpsons episode. It was genius. But yeah, I specifically, the only reason I wanted to go there was because I got to go to a friend's birthday party and they had fucking go-karts, right? And then, you know, it was really cool if you like bought the full birthday package, which I don't think we did. All the arcade machines were on free play. And that's where I first got to play the Punisher arcade game by Capcom with fucking Nick Fury and shit, and that was fucking bitching. But yeah, I think they're dead now.
I would, anytime that there's free play on arcades, which is one of the main reasons I think conventions are worth going to, is there's a big arcade, just go play to your heart's content. I'm like, fuck yeah, I'll do that, because I mean, I wish that there was lots of arcades around, but there aren't. So that's one of the only situations. I mean, fuck, the biggest one I can think of that I've seen in person at a convention was Portland. And
don't you live near PAPA World Headquarters?
Near what?
The Professional and Amateur Pinball Association.
Oh, that.
Well, so, and the whatever the pinball museum thing, Bob, or whatever the fuck is there.
There's an actual arcade museum.
Yeah,
that's here now. It's like 45 minutes away from my house. I've only gone there once, and when I went up there, because I knew one of the store owners that was near there, because he ran a store, and they were doing like cross promotion and shit. And he said, "Hey, come up and check it out." The downside was they were still setting up, so I couldn't fuck with any of the machines at all. But they had like this large crew of people going in and fixing a lot of these machines and updating them, cleaning them down. And many of these were rare as fuck machines. I'm talking, one of them was, they said that there was barely any of these, but it was a stand-up Tron machine. And this thing was fucking ancient. But it was Tron, and you stood up in it, and I don't know what the hell you did in it, because I didn't even want to go near it, because it was like, oh, okay, well, it's kind of a museum, and that thing's really rare. I don't even want to look at it wrong. It might fucking shatter. So, but that's up there. At some point, I need to make the drive up.
That'd be a fucking video, man. And
dude,
plus, and the guy, if you ever run into the guy who runs that place, his name's Chris Aiken. The guy is he's on a podcast, a really good heavy metal podcast that's been around since like the 90s, called The Classic Metal Show. And yeah, you can hook up with that dude. But yeah, that's a video right there.
Dude, I'd be all for that, because I've wanted to check that out. We did have that I forgot the exact name, but the actual pinball convention that they have show up here, I've never been to it before, and this year...
Pinburg?
It's some fucking name. I really forget, but I went there with a couple friends, and it was like, I'm finally going to go. I got to play one pinball machine because I literally got swarmed by people. I wasn't fucking expecting it because I figured this was like a completely different crowd. And I didn't get to play anything except for one Elvira pinball machine. That's all I played.
We have that at Castles and Coasters.
Dude,
which one? There's 3 of them. You talking about Scared Stiff?
I don't fucking know.
Okay, there's 3 Elvira machines out there.
Every time I see an Elvira pinball machines, I see big, magnificent Hooters and then pinball, and I'm like, "Hey, this is fucking great!" So
it's the ultimate mashup.
Yeah, it is, but
or it ought to be anyway.
They had the X-Files one there. They had Batman ones. They had obviously the Terminator ones, which are really cool. They had a bunch of shit there, and it was crazy because they had a platform and then these big, huge-ass screens that were recording all the individual pinball games, and then they had arcades set up, and it was all sorts of shit. It was cool as fuck, but I want to try to go back and get a multi-day pass because we only got to go for the one day, and that's not nearly long enough. So, but yeah, what the fuck were you talking about? Oh yeah, Universal Studios and Nintendo. Haha.
Topic. What's that?
Yeah, breadcrumb trail.
I don't know why. While we were having the pinball discussion, I was on to other things, and I thought, I don't know why. This probably sounds lame, but I think it would be neat. Would be if they could incorporate the Monty Moles into a sort of skee ball kind of game. I just think that's easy. That makes sense, and I'd throw 50 cents down on it.
Dude, I would throw money down on most of the machines, except for they're all expensive as fuck. That's the thing that sucks. You go up to some of these arcade machines, like they had Time Crisis 5 in the one arcade.
Oh, is that out already? Wow.
It said new, so I don't know the exact release date on it, but I'm assuming the shit just came out because they had the same exact label on the Luigi's Mansion one, but this was a couple months ago. And I went to go and try it out, but the amount of credits that it needed by comparison to other things, I was like, nah, it would basically just drain the fucking card, and then I'd be going back up, plopping $20 in just to get my fucking ass handed to me. Be like, reload. Ah, shucks. God, I fucking love Time Crisis. It's all good shit. And then the Hate Bit podcast turns into, do you remember arcades? I remember. Yes, we all remember.
They're still around. They're just hipster bars now.
Yeah, it's honestly, yeah, it's kind of true. But,
well, hey, we have them in California, but they're called children's casinos because most of these games are designed to drain the parents as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
And then they give you tickets.
We call it Dave and Buster's because we don't have shit. At all. We have shit, okay? That's
Is that why you travel around so much?
And while he was here in town, I don't even think you got to. Well, no, that's not true. You got to go to Cobra Arcade, but that's the only place. And we got like 5 or 6 really good arcades in town, and he got to go to one.
Yeah, dude, I wanted to go and hit up as much as I possibly could, but that shit it wasn't in the cards. I wandered around for like several hours by myself just to see what was around. Yeah, that was on like a Sunday morning, so nothing was open. So I just I literally looked like the last man on earth. I wish I would just had like a dog with me, and then I could just carry a gun and find fucking mutants and shit. It'd been a lot better, more exciting. But it's So back to Universal.
I love how you steered us back to a topic out of the topic, and now you want to go back.
Okay, have you guys actually ever been to Disney World, Disneyland, or Universal Studios at all?
Yeah, I went
right next to my house.
Yeah, I went to Universal Studios in like 2000. Fun fact, I got an X-Men shirt before the damn movie came out. Yeah, they were working on the first X-Men movie. So I got like an X-Men, a little logo, and Wolverine's claw was on the back. And they were also working on Jurassic Park 3. Not that you should hold that against me. Yeah.
Did you stand in line for the fucking Jurassic Park ride?
Oh my God, the line was so long. No, I didn't. And it sucks because that was like the whole reason I wanted to go too. Because I love Jurassic Park. I'm a fucking mark.
It's boring piss.
Is it?
It's boring piss. It's like the fucking Monsters Incorporated ride. You see part of the movie and then they drop you and that's it. And you feel like a fucking mark because it was like 2 hours and 40 minutes to get on that shit.
Dude, I've never been to anything like that. I've been to
You know what you would like? Have you been to Six Flags Magic Mountain?
No.
You're a Batman, Mark. You got to go to Six Flags Magic Mountain.
I've seen the Batman ride because they have a Batman ride, a Superman ride.
They have a Riddler ride.
They have a Riddler ride, yeah.
Do they have one for Flash?
I think they have a Flash now. Yeah, you're right. And they also
maybe Netflix paid for it.
But it's like it's not just that. Out in front of Batman the ride, they got the fucking Batmobile there from Batman Returns. I don't know. It might be the Batmobile from Batman Forever now. I don't know. It's been a long time since I was there.
They should not remind anyone of Batman Forever.
And they have like Batman the stage show occasionally, where you get to watch a bunch. Yeah, where you get to watch a bunch of shit explode, and it's basically like the Wild Wild West show, only Batman.
Actually, here's a fun fact. Actually, I think this is actually interesting and prevalent. For those that have followed me on other programs, I got to do the Kid Shoryuken show, the Powerful Stream, and we did something with Corey Marshall, the voice actor who did Hero. From who's the main character from Shenmue?
Ryu Hayazuki.
Ryu, yeah. Well, I got to deal with Corey Marshall, and he worked on the Batman stunt show. He was very proud of it. Told us 75 times that he worked on the Batman stunt show. Joe, just I'd share that right there.
Dude, I mean, I've been to Cedar Point and Kennywood. That's it. That's all I've been to. I've been to Cedar Point 3 times, and Kennywood. I've been to Kennywood so many times I don't want to go ever. Even if I've passed up free tickets, I don't want to go. I've been on all those rides since I was a kid so many fucking times because that's all that's around here unless you go over to Ohio where they got a bunch more shit.
Oh yeah, Kings Island, man. You got to get over to Kings Island, motherfucker.
Well, we had Geauga Lake. We have Hershey Park, which I've never been to Hershey Park, but I heard that it reeks of chocolate. So if you like chocolate, it's good. If not, you're going to start vomiting uncontrollably. And then we've got Idlewild. I think that's still open. I have no fucking clue. It doesn't matter. Kennywood. And Kennywood is surrounded by Duquesne, which is the fucking literal definition of the hood. It is so fucked that you basically go to Kennywood, but you don't go anywhere else. Like you get shot and stabbed and maimed. Like it won't matter. It's terrible. But I would love if they do the whole Universal Super Mario thing, I will fucking go to that in a heartbeat. I will make a trip of it, and that'd be badass. Minus waiting in the lines for hours just to something Captain Toad related.
Well, then you're gonna have a lot of waiting ahead of you.
Oh, I am.
Make no mistake about it.
No, you could just jump and then hover like the princess right above the line.
Yeah. Dude, I need that sweet pink dress though. Just dress like this.
You know, it's only a matter of time. They're going to start selling the fucking princess dresses like they do at Disneyland. Have you seen that? Have you ever seen the grown women that wear fucking princess dresses who aren't being paid an hourly wage to walk around Disneyland dressed like that?
These are the same people who believe in safe spaces.
It's true.
Something very wrong about this.
Absolutely.
These are the same people who needed Play-Doh and fucking Duplo blocks on election night.
Yeah, they were just like, okay, we need to give them cocoa. Give them their hug circles. They have safety pins now, everybody. They're really driving this point home, pun intended. So yeah, we're there now. Oh, that's the future of your country. Good stuff. Good stuff. I'll just go and kill myself, so they'll be happier anyway, and so will I. Win-win. So since it went down that dark avenue, let's go and talk about something fun, huh? Other than safe spaces and hug circles and cry circles and all these other fucking wishy-washy, spineless, fucking retarded, stupid fucks that should not... Happy Place!
You know, you were nice before you came on this show. You know that?
Yeah, I know.
Speaking of which, Super Mario Run comes out this Thursday. There you go.
For people that have an iPhone.
For people that have an iPhone. I forgot about that. Okay, for people that have an iPhone, available only on iOS because fuck everybody, right? Nintendo brings us their very first actual mobile game. Super Mario Run comes to iOS, the Apple App Store, Thursday, December the 15th. And well, there has been some controversy though that this game will apparently require a constant connection during the course of gameplay, and some people are not very happy about that. I know that I was less than pleased with that. There's been lots of speculation on why that is. I'm one of those people that believes I think Nintendo really thinks that they're going to be able to keep this thing secure, which is really cute and everything. I know they've done well in their proprietary systems, but this is something entirely different. Anyway, gentlemen, I know you don't give a shit.
Hey, I do.
So, well then tell the people. If you're the one that wants to be happy.
Okay, so to me, I understand to a certain point, because I mean they opened up and just kind of said that, hey, we're doing this for security purposes. But like we had talked about on Friday, when Nintendo and any company for that matter openly discloses security measures that they're trying to go and take with a hot item, everybody immediately within seconds, like flies to shit, is going to be trying to rip it apart. And that's what's going to happen with this. I give it a couple of days, a week at the most, before the game is hacked and there's an APK file floating around on the internet of the full game that doesn't require an internet connection. I give it a week. It's bound to happen. I'd rather them just say, and I mean, it's $10 to get the game. And a lot of people that play games tip it like on their phone. You're playing on the shitter in between things at work that don't like require you to pay attention, or you're just not a very good employee and you say fuck it anyway because you're not getting paid enough.
Yeah.
And if you're traveling, think about the amount of people that fuck about on their phone in airplane mode while they're flying, while in a subway, because you're underground. That shit ain't fucking working down there for most people. And there's all sorts of places in this country that there's just no viable internet connection at all. Doesn't matter where you're at. Take the entire middle of the country. There you go. I don't think they even have internet in Wyoming. I don't think that they have internet there at all. Yeah. So if you're there, yeah, you don't have it. You're fucked. Screwed. Yeah. But it's...
Well, at least, no, they have internet. They just all share.
Yeah, at least they come right out and say, "Hey, this shit doesn't work unless you're connected to the internet." Whereas fucking Pokemon Go shits the bed and loses its goddamn mind if you fucking pass under a tree. You know what I mean? And then you fucking lose everything and shit. Well, you have just caught an error.
That's something to also kind of worry about in a way. Is if we are out and about and we're playing, and there's a hiccup with the servers, because you can bet your bottom fucking dollar, thank you Stone Cold, that everybody and their fucking mother is going to be getting this game. And if the servers aren't capable of withstanding the shit tons upon shit tons of crashing waves of people trying to play this, and the servers go down, which is a very probable thing of happening, then you're going to end up having folks just go, nah, I'm good. Because that's what happened with Pokemon Go. People got sick of the connection issues, amongst many other things. And that could make people shy away, on top of the fact that this isn't free to play. This is $10. If you have connection issues because your server shit the bed, you have a lot of fucking pissed off and jaded folks out there.
Yeah.
So I worry about that.
People who are looking for reasons to be pissed off and jaded already.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you've already got folks out there that even with a good experience, they're going to be pissed off.
Indeed. Indeed.
Well, yeah, because Nintendo's name is attached. What have the last 5 years been, if not one protracted exercise in finding something to be pissed off at Nintendo over?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think Super Mario Run looks cool, but in truth, it's with all mobile games, I tire of them within mere days, and then I just go away from them. And that's why they've never held my attention at all, because they're not meant to hold your attention for long time spans. But that's how I play games, is I'm supposed to sit down for the long haul. Those games aren't designed that way. This one looks like you could play it for long periods of time, but I don't know. I just worry about all this other shit that's associated with it, and if it's going to turn people off. But if you ask Jimmy Fallon, I mean, he will fucking say anything's fucking fantastic. God damn, is he a big smiling fucker? Like,
well, you pay him enough, motherfucker. And am I crazy, or is he getting doughy? He's turning into a little jolly.
What happens when you're on TV for more than a season?
He's a little jolly these days. He's not. I don't know.
I think.
Well, it's also. I mean, if you really read into it the way I did, Reggie Fils-Aimé is much bigger than him, so I imagine Jimmy Fallon will say whatever he's told to say.
Do you think that Jimmy Fallon being near Reggie, he absorbed some of his fat?
Well, I mean, Reggie's a little more trim these days. Maybe he made a donation. He's like, here, Jimmy, you look a little starving.
I don't know, man. I know that you have one. Fist, do you actually have an iPhone?
No, I have an Android.
Okay, so you and me won't be playing the game.
No, sir.
Okay. So I'm just wondering how many people out there with iPhones plan on picking up the game, because a $10 asking price on a mobile game to me is a lot.
Well, I mean, that depends on really what's in it. I mean, look at some of the offerings from Square Enix. You'll find games that are $14 and $20.
They're fucking I've made fun of them so many fucking times. I'm like, you stupid fucking assholes think that somebody's going to pay $15 fucking for Final Fantasy VII on a fucking phone? How fucking dense are these assholes?
Well, but the point is being made is that there are suckers who did buy it. That's the thing. What people don't understand is if you give people money, that gives them the impression that what they did was correct.
But this also comes full circle with the whole thing of when there's a high asking price for something. Like when I see that, and if I'm thinking to myself, I really want to play Final Fantasy VII on a mobile device, then I'm just going to illegally download it because I've got so many fucking versions of the game. Square Enix can suck my fucking ass. If anything, they should be paying me $15. So this coupled with everybody's going to be trying to figure out ways to patch this game up and then release it as its own executable app that you can play offline, because they don't want to deal with the asking price, let alone the constant internet connection that's required with it.
Sure.
I just feel like that's going to be a week.
In my opinion, also, I think the price, it's not terribly high when you really think about... I mean, when you compare it to you have a $700 iPhone and you think $10 is too much money, your priorities are out of whack. But I also think that the price choice was, and make no mistake, this was not done lightly. I think that they knew that number was high enough to set it apart and also to get people talking. Why is it so expensive? Because as long as people are talking about it, that keeps it in the stream of consciousness. So, and the price will eventually come down, especially when, and I'm sure the Android version is not far away, because I'm sure they know that there's a lot of people there. I'm talking to two of them right now. Now, Razorfist is sitting there with his glasses on looking all cool, but as soon as that shit comes to Android, he's going to check it out. He is. He's at least going to read the reviews. I know it.
Hey, I acted like a jaded asshole, and then I wound up playing Pokemon Go like everyone else,
And you're a better person for it, aren't you?
Yes, it changed my life.
Yeah, soon you'll be in color. It'll be like a real boy.
The first fucking day I play Pokemon Go, and I've hardly touched it since, because Pokemon Go, it's like I don't think that game wanted me to play it. The first day I get it, my favorite Pokemon.
It's like a fucking job interview. There's questions.
My favorite Pokemon is Onix, right? So I'm thinking, oh well, I'll walk around long enough to pick up my favorite Pokemon, and then I'm done. First day, I go down the way to pick up Terangel, and I get out of the car to go knock on his door, and Onix is there, and I catch him. Within 5 minutes of fucking turning this goddamn game on, I'm like, well, folks, you've been a lovely audience. Farewell. I'll see you later. And that was pretty much my last experience with Pokemon fucking Go.
I was happy that they just recently they patched the game and now the tracking system works. Fucking finally. It's been months and it's now winter. I know you motherfuckers don't realize it's fucking winter, but over here on the fucking East Coast, it's frigid as hell.
Hey, I'll have you know it's a whole 58 degrees outside.
Yeah, well, I think the leaves on the trees are getting a little bit beige-ish.
The weather outside is frightful, so fuck you and Pennsylvania.
Hold on. You said 58 degrees, right?
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry, 59 degrees.
Okay, 59 degrees. That's a fucking goddamn heat wave, and that's shorts weather in Pittsburgh. So we'll have motherfuckers out there basically like sunbathing for the all four. Oh, 51 degrees. Oh, you poor bastards. You're freezing to death over there.
I know. I had to get out my jacket and everything. Not to mention my Star Fox t-shirt, you know.
Pretty smooth flying, Fox.
Yeah.
What is our weather right now? It's 35 degrees over here, and I still consider that to be kind of warm.
Oh, wait, was it 34? You said
35.
35. Well,
yeah.
You could have left, you know. I'm just saying.
No.
You've been moving all week, and you decided to stay there.
Yeah, because I like seasons. Where you guys live, you know what there is? Hot as fuck, and it's just hot.
You know what, you fucking leafer? Don't give me any of that bullshit about, we have seasons on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Get that out of my face.
Oh, no. Oh, fuck off with that. Okay, I've been over in your fucking neck of the woods. You want to know what happened when I went outside? I fucking baked. Literally. I could see my fucking skin fry before me, and I just went, what in God's fucking name is this shit? I went and I fucking I speed racer animation my ass over to various shadows so that I did not touch the sun whatsoever, which is why I still have my heavenly glow. I can't deal with that shit.
Where did you find shade, man? Between the concrete and the street lamps, I don't suppose you found anything.
Why do you think there isn't a single available inch of this entire state that doesn't have an air conditioner strapped to it? Like the idea of Arizona is you're supposed to move from one air-conditioned space to the next, and it's supposed to be connected by tubes. It's like that scene from fucking E.T. All right, that's what it is.
And you noticed that Phoenix didn't really develop until after the space race. I just wanted to point that out.
Dude, I was astounded that you guys have sprinklers fucking everywhere.
Everywhere.
I basically shit in my shit when I walked around and just sprinklers kept going off. I'm like, what the fuck? Okay, you want to know when you find sprinklers in Pennsylvania? When you go to a rich neighborhood. That's fucking it. That's all. Because we actually get water here. You motherfuckers don't even know what that shit is unless it comes in a fucking Nestle Pure Life bottle. The fucking
we have a lot of it in our pools.
They freeze over everything. I like the cold. I would happily take my fucking ass over to Alaska if I could. I'd be away from everything, and it'd be great. It'd be great.
I want to raise the point. This is also why, for everyone who wonders in the comment section, this is why the Hate Bit podcast has not and will not work MagFest.
And this is why. Tonight, Alpha's gonna curl up underneath his blanket of Wampa guts.
We have deer that travel through the yard all the fucking time, so I can just get the biggest buck that's nearby, cut it open, pull fucking Star Wars, chill inside that bitch, and it'd be great. You know, I could dangle the phone from a charger off of its antlers and just watch something kind of sideways like this. It'd be good. I'd be happy with it. I could live with that. I might do that. That sounds good. Yeah. So, but what I'm saying is, your areas are too fucking hot, and I'm a bitch, and I don't like hot weather. At the end, that's
weather is for fat people.
Dude, I was literally mortified. I'm not kidding you. The minute that I stepped out, when I went to what was it, the White Sands? I forgot. It's something White Sands.
In New Mexico?
Yeah. We had stopped by there temporarily, and I went there, but it was completely cloudy, so there was no sun. So I was expecting it to be all super hot. It wasn't. It was really nice. So I'm walking around like, this is one of the coolest areas ever. And then I got into Arizona, and I just went, what the fuck is this? What the I thought Texas was hot. Then I went there, and everybody's like, oh, no, it's not that bad. It's a dry heat. Shut the fuck up. It is not a dry heat. A dry heat comes from your oven. Same fucking thing. I basically felt like I was a walking, talking concentration camp everywhere that I fucking went because I was broiling and I couldn't fucking take it. It was horrible.
Welcome, it's Zyklon Omega Sin.
I couldn't fucking do it, man. And on top of that, the fucking hotel, 2 of the rooms, 2, both had busted air conditioners. I had to be moved twice. I've never requested to be moved before. I'm like, wow. I would kick it on and it got soggy. How the fuck does it get soggy? But it got soggy. I'm just like, Aquaman's taint. Great. That's the kind of weather I want to go to sleep in. It's probably still going to be better than Aquaman movie, but it didn't matter. Didn't fucking like it.
You didn't even like drive around or get in like, because you'll get on like the light rail and those aren't terribly well air conditioned spaces, and you're just sitting there in ball soup. You're just your fucking nads are stuck to your leg for an hour and a half, and you're fucking. Oh, maybe I'll put some powder down there. Yeah, get a nice pancake batter going.
I was going to say, you get the baby powder combined with the smegma. I'm pretty sure you can make C4. So we take that shit. By the way, this will be added to the Anarchist Cookbook for anybody out there who's listening. I assure you, smegma and that combined on a hot sunny day.
But that's not really practical for Alpha because he runs around in shorts all the time. I mean, he'd be leaving a trail of bran muffins down the street.
I can take like a little ice cream scoop and just reach up there, fling it out, and I'm like, good to go.
There's homeless people up there. There's homeless people follow him with a knife and fork.
Don't tell me Alpha Omega Sin doesn't contribute, all right?
Yeah, because you know what? I'm giving back by doing this, by the way.
Like I said, a fine humanitarian.
Nuts across America.
Anyway, enough of the hate-bit forecast. It is time. It is time to do something that we didn't get to do last week because we ran out of time because, well, reasons. The point is that...
and chocolate shoes.
That's exactly right. But these are games, well, Razor Fist actually thought this was a good idea, so it's mixed bag. But he said we should talk about games that we would create. Now, I don't know anything about making games, but this is what we're going to talk about, and hopefully this comes off the right way because people have talked about us doing this. Is we're going to pitch a concept. Now, Razor Fist, you had something already ready to go, didn't you?
Oh, shit. You know what? The number one, and I was just talking this over with Terengel the other day. We were watching an 80s anime that is one of my favorites still to this day called Ronin Warriors. And badass fucking show, right? It's kind of like Sailor Moon for boys, only it came out before Sailor Moon. So it's like everyone's got an element... And they all have their fancy armor and their special weapon and all that shit. And then they can combine and make a super armor. And it's not like Voltron, but you know what I mean. They can give the one guy really cool fucking Mega Man X looking armor. He turns into the fucking Silver Samurai. But it's badass. It's really badass. And we were talking, and he suddenly cooked up this idea, and I think it's absolutely brilliant. How the fuck you got... Dynasty Warriors has been licensed out to fucking every fucking license imaginable. How is there not a Ronin Warriors? Not only is there not a Ronin Warriors, there's never been a Ronin Warriors game. The only time the Ronin Warriors have ever been in a game of any kind is when the anime company that made Ronin Warriors, they own a lot of like Gundam shit and so forth. They do these big kind of crossover RPG games called Sunrise. It's Sunrise something. They always change the title every fucking time. But it's like a big Sunrise crossover, and Ryo of Wildfire will pop up or whatever. But that's what I would fucking make. I would make Dynasty Warriors. I would just make it Ronin Warriors, and it would be in the Dynasty Warriors font. And fucking, you would be able to play as all 5 of the Ronin Warriors and the fucking tiger if you wanted to, the fucking Siberian tiger that follows them around. You could play as Lady Kayura, or you could play as Anubis, or you could whatever the fuck you wanted to do.
And you gotta have co-op in that shit.
Oh, and co-op out the ass. Co-op out the. How about 5-player online co-op? How about fucking that? That's what I say. And they could fight the fucking 4 warlords and Talpa and shit. And I would play that until my eyeballs rotted in my fucking skull.
I feel like that's an anime that's pretty long overdue for a proper comeback. Because when we were getting it over here, it actually had like, it wasn't as massive as the other anime that's out there, but it had a good cult following.
Yeah, and it did pretty well. It was on Toonami for a while, and it's funny because Ronin Warriors in Japan, there's this kind of myth that goes around that Ronin Warriors was not successful in Japan, but the cartoon, the anime itself was really successful. It was actually, the problem was, like in Japan, just like here, honestly, anime is made to sell toys. So they made this whole toy line, and to be frank, the toys kind of fucking sucked, even by the standards of the day. So people didn't buy them, and it was up against some other like big anime toys that had just come out. So that the toys just kind of sat in a fucking warehouse and never goddamn sold. So even though the show had really good viewership, because nobody was buying the toys, the fucking businessmen behind Ronin Warriors were like, fuck this shit. We're canceling this nonsense. Which is why...
Well, don't forget, at that time, a lot of those, just like the American cartoons, were loss leaders. They were expecting for the toy sales to pay for a lot of the production.
Exactly. So even though the show did really well and they were able to sell, ads and so forth, it just wasn't worth it to them. So they were like, fuck it. We're just going to kill this now. And but strangely enough, when it came over to the States, and interestingly, Ronin Warriors is one of those anime you always hear about, oh, it's censored. Anime always, when it comes to the States, they dub it to shit, and it winds up cutting out all the gore and titties and whatever. They did nothing to censor Ronin Warriors in the States. And they were showing this shit to kids at 8 o'clock in the morning, and there's blood and there's titties and ass. And they're like, what? Like, fucking, and it was one of the first anime. I mean, I think
sounds like a good time on a Saturday morning to me.
Yeah, it was before even Dragon Ball Z had been brought to the States. Fucking Ronin Warriors was here.
Well, that was also like early on, the actual cult status that anime had was just that. And for anything that came out like early on, unfortunately, unless like it took off, because things like Dragon Ball Z and Pokemon and shit help propel anime in a lot of different ways, but they also licensed that shit out, awesome toys and games and all sorts of other shit. But Ronin Warriors, what, like you said, was early on the scene, and I think that's a fucking bummer, because I wouldn't mind seeing them go and re-release that shit, put it onto Adult Swim, put it onto Crunchyroll. Whoever, do you know who owns it?
Well, I know the company that made it is Sunrise. I don't know if they still have the rights or if they're one of the many anime companies that went out of business. I have no idea.
Whoever would have like the actual publishing rights to the anime, whether it was like the American dub or whatever, they should post that shit on YouTube, man. Because I've seen some of the companies, they've been posting full anime on there because other people are re-uploading it. Why the fuck not you post it and actually make some cash off of it?
Yeah, put the original Japanese version on, give subtitles and shit. Yeah. or fucking uncut versions.
For that. And the thing is, I'm a big fan of all the Dynasty Warriors games that are out there, including like Hyrule Warriors, Dragon Quest Heroes, the actual Gundam games, because they've had three?
Yeah, that's another thing. I think one or several of the Gundam shows are Sunrise, and it's fucking ridiculous. That actually no, all the Gundam is Sunrise, and they've done Gundam with Dynasty Warriors. But you got Ronin Warriors, who, by the way, are fighting an organization called the Dynasty. And you've never made Dynasty Warriors Ronin. How the fuck has this never been made? What the fuck?
And a show like theirs is kind of designed to be a straight up action game where you were just kicking the shit out of everything. So it would
that's what Ronin Warriors is. It wasn't one of those shows. That's why I still love it to this day. People say it doesn't hold up. But what they really mean is there's not enough sappy melodrama for them. That's what's great about Ronin Warriors. There's no navel gazing and sobbing about the nature and travails of human existence. No one's wilting on a fucking couch anywhere or sobbing about their gender identity or whatever the fuck happens in anime now. It's just dudes in cool armor fucking shit up. That's what the show is, and that's why it fucking holds up to me.
dude. Whenever you had said that it was Sailor Moon for boys, it's funny because I remember that shit being said back then.
Oh yeah.
Dude,
and it's hilarious because Sailor Moon is after Ronin Warriors. Like if anything was inspired by one or the other, it was Sailor Moon inspired by Ronin Warriors.
No, that shit I'd be all for, because man, it's weird because like people that are into Dynasty Warriors style games, what is it, Omega Force? Is that the name of the crew behind it? I always forget, but I just it's mindless destruction of waves of enemies. And no matter I played Dynasty Warriors 3 on PlayStation 2, and that was the first Dynasty Warriors game that I ended up picking up. Well, all the other stuff that I've played since then has been the same fucking thing, yet I don't tire of it.
Yeah.
It's just it's you feel a certain level of satisfaction looking at like double digits turn triple digits and triple digits turn quad digits.
Well, and that's why Dynasty Warriors is so great, because they are so a finger in the face of modern game design in a way. Just a giant erect middle finger. Because while other games are like, well, let's streamline this experience. Let's remove things. And what Dynasty Warriors does nothing but just add more characters, add more abilities, add more fucking secret shit. They don't take shit out of these games. There is never... I defy you to name a feature that's been cut out of a fucking Dynasty Warriors sequel. Because it doesn't happen. It's just hack, slash, and now there's more people for you to hack and slash with. Congratulations.
I like the idea of, because their suits would like evolve and level up in certain ways, and they could apply that same like not only aesthetic, but just like you could actually start throwing in RPG elements to this, because they've already done it in Dynasty series, and especially with Dragon Quest Heroes. But it'd be cool to like level up, earn experience, and then you just start like customizing your armor, and you start looking ridiculous like some of the later Mega Man X games, because his armor also got just as fucking silly. But
he looked like a fucking stalactite.
See, now I want that to happen. Now I'm just kind of thinking like, damn, now I'm gonna watch Ronin Warriors again. It's been a fucking dog fucking age, man. But yeah, that's.
And the most important thing, I would add this caveat: you gotta have the same soundtrack, because that was one of the cool things about Ronin Warriors. Was it was one of those, like in anime, for some reason when it gets brought over to the States, they fuck up the soundtrack a lot of the times. You know, sometimes they improve it, but whatever. Ronin Warriors was like, no, fuck, this soundtrack's perfect. We're keeping this shit, and it's all electric guitar and keytar and shit. It like just screams 1980s,
dude.
So, that's my game. Dynasty Ronin Warriors. Ronin Warriors versus the Dynasty. I don't care what the fuck you call it. Just give me that shit tomorrow.
Ronin Warriors versus Sailor Moon versus Gundam.
Yes.
Just fuck it. We'll get everything out of the way.
Open up a crossover. You could have a Gundam Ronin Warriors crossover, because both properties are owned by Sunrise. You know, you can do anything with it.
I'd be okay with that. So we got a nice little licensed hack and slash beat 'em up style game. Mr. Chaos, what would you try rocking? You know, the one that I've been thinking about this since Friday. So finally, I've had some time to really sift this over, and this would be a game very much in line with. I have such an appreciation for Leisure Suit Larry. I just find it such an interesting game, especially coming from its time, and it's a game about getting laid. And let's face it, people in this audience need all the help they can get. So I figured what I would like to have, and this is, you're going to have to use your imagination, but I really feel that there needs to be a rhythm/dating sim, or rhythm game/dating sim, that somehow involves alcohol in some way, as, and you know, in some sort of in adding difficulty, if you were. Plus, it would take place during the holidays, so not only are you trying to get laid, you get to feel weird while you're doing it. And as far as rhythm, I don't know what. Well, you can use your imagination with how you could use rhythm in a dating simulation, and that's my game. I mean, so rhythm games are hard to fucking sell, man. Like you know that, right? Yeah, I know. That's why you have to sneak it into a dating simulator. Well, okay, now. how far down this rabbit hole are we gonna go?
The rhythm of
with,
the thrusts, or what the fuck is? What?
Well,
I have to start rubbing the screen, and then all of a sudden, like the upper screen, she just becomes more and more red, and then all of a sudden the system turns off.
You wonder, but I mean, that cat wasn't let out of the bag; it was yanked out. I don't know. I think that would depend on how well you do within the game. If you get where I'm going with that, because how well you do usually has to do with how deep you go.
Dude, there has to be a flashlight. There has to be a flashlight attachment to this 3DS at some point. Someone would make it.
To the 3DS, my goodness, the battery life on that's pretty short as it is, and to attach something like that, you're asking a lot from science.
You act like people who would be into this are going to last more than a couple of minutes anyway. Come on. The minute that they see like,
what do you know that I don't?
Dude, I know that audience way too well. Come on, it's the internet.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
They're everywhere. They basically parade this shit around like on fucking banners and billboards and shit. They are fucking flying high.
I don't know. I still don't see the appeal into sticking your dick that shoots a liquid into something that plugs into the wall. I really don't.
Okay, okay, so we got a dating sim / rhythm game. What kind of music are we talking?
You know what? I don't know. I think the difficulty level as because I think one of the stages has to involve trying to get laid at an office Christmas party. so
this is basically a George Costanza simulator.
In a way, because I imagine at least one of the stages would be doing whatever it is that you have to do in a supply closet with burl Ives, have a holly jolly Christmas going off in one ear because you can only hear part of it.
Is there any way that there's an actual Seinfeld dating sim game that you can play online? Can we somehow just like entwine this shit at some point?
Yeah. You want to talk about licensing crossover? That's exactly what we're gonna do. We're gonna get the Leisure Suit Larry people and those people together.
Dude,
wow.
I kind of want to. I want to play your game because I want to see there's. Oh my god, what the fuck is the name of that one really fucked up Japanese game on PlayStation 1? I'm not being descriptive.
Why are you making it seem like there's one?
Incredible Crisis.
Oh.
I keep like the way that you were describing like everything, and then when you described that, I started thinking of Incredible Crisis because that was the situation the main character was in a whole lot, was just ridiculous stuff like that. And minus like the rhythm games and shit, it was more like WarioWare games mixed in. But dude, I would actually play that shit just because I like some rhythm games, like Elite Beat Agents, for example.
Well, I also thought there'd be one that's kind of like an absent rhythm game. Like there's some sort of interface to where like you have to sit through a really boring conversation because let's face it, you're dealing with women, and you would have to perform something to illustrate that you're awake. so there'd be that too.
Dude, that would be one of the games that I can think of in VR would be really fucking awesome. Like while you're wearing it, you actually see the screen start going like this. So you have to shake your head like that. And then all of a sudden it's like you're wide awake. And then she's like, "Are you all right?" And then you have to like nod yes or like no. That shit would be fucking hilarious, dude. Get the little like PlayStation Move butt plug controllers and stuff.
You mean to tell me we finally found a use for PlayStation VR and the Move?
Oh my god.
Right here. Yeah,
right here on the Hate Bit podcast in 2016.
History has been made here.
Dude, it would be so fucking awesome having all that shit, and because of the rhythm game aspect, put a DDR pad into it and just watch somebody look like the clumsiest fucking mess of a human being. Just sitting there like doing all this shit, like feet moving all over, shucking and jiving, getting tangled up in wires, cats getting fucking punched in the face by accident.
Careful with those hand gestures, Alpha. You'll be accused of making fun of the mentally handicapped.
Oh shit! Yeah,
he was not. He was doing Akeem the African Dream. It's okay.
I need that fucking sweet hat that he had though.
Yeah.
I need that, and I need whatever fucking moo he was wearing. It was
what you need is like the thong unitard that Bastion Booger had. Is what you need.
oh, that thing was always so fucking terrible. No. God, it reminded me of this one chick that it was posted on 4chan ages ago, but she was cosplaying. She's a big, fat, disgusting-looking bitch cosplaying as somebody who was wearing the equivalent of the leftovers from a mummy wrap, just covering, like, barely covering anything. And she smelled like the most foul pussy ever, and someone had taken a picture and showed that she sat on somewhere and left a big disgusting mark. And it's just like, everything's bad, and it just made me think of Miracle Whip commercials. But still, Yo Chaos, I would play your game. I play both your games, but yeah.
Well, and what would you do?
My game is going to be a combination of 3 different things, but I swear all this shit can gel together into one awesome experience. I want a tongue-in-cheek survival horror game like Deadly Premonition, combined with Snatcher and the Ace Attorney investigation series. So you are a detective in all of these games, and you are going around crime scenes in a cyberpunk futuristic setting. But there's lots of comedy that's added into it because I feel that too many games take themselves overly serious. So I'd like there to be like lots of funny bits all inside of this, but absurd amounts of gore. So you got the survival horror aspect of it where you're trying to track down, the Snatchers, which are basically just fucking Terminators. But you're trying to track them down. But in Snatcher, it was just a static screen, and you just had to move the cursor around and shoot shit. Well, I would like to go around like third person and fucking pop caps in some of these motherfuckers. And you go around and you have to actually investigate certain crime scenes. Like when you find a body, you have to investigate the body, not just like select from various fucking things that are available there. Like you have to go and perform autopsies and shit. And I think it would be cool having this big neon, like in the year 2XXX. You're just going all over the place, like fucking hover cars flying around, cyborg police that are chasing you down and shit. And they would be able to just do whatever the fuck that they want because you can just be silly with it. And I don't know, I just think that's cool because I like Deadly Premonitions and I like Snatcher. Both of them are some of my favorite games for several different reasons, differing between them. And the Ace Attorney games I've just always enjoyed because they were funny. And Deadly Premonition's funny. Sometimes it's funny for all the wrong reasons. But regardless, just all that shit I'd mix together into one big experience and have a field day.
Excellent.
I think it'd be awesome. I don't know. I like whodunit murder mysteries, and I like cyberpunk type shit. So I just think that stuff would all be cool. Plus, games like Deadly Premonition need more limelight as far as I'm concerned. And Snatcher's great, but Konami's not doing shit with that. And it sucks because it's one of the best games out there from a story standpoint alone. And Phoenix,
absolutely.
right?
I mean, for being borderline plagiarism, it does goddamn well with what it has.
No, it is like through and through. It really that's one of the things that I've as much as I love the game, and I do consider it one of my favorite games. It plagiarized so much shit, but I was okay with that because it did it well.
Sure.
Like if you're gonna rip something off, at least do it justice.
Well, you look at Kojima's entire career. I mean, come on.
Oh,
you think maybe Kojima watched Lethal Weapon once or twice before?
Well, you think he did make a whole career out of other people's movies.
It's true.
Well, Kojima, he's always been like, big fan of cinema, especially American cinema. No fucking shit after playing some of his games. It's pretty goddamn fucking evident. But I'm just happy that he's at least like picking from things I think are awesome.
Oh sure.
That stuff's fine. Like when you're picking from the likes of like Lethal Weapon or Terminator or Akira or whatever the fuck, that's cool. Granted, Akira's not American cinema, but fuck off. I'm just naming off movies that he's definitely picked from. And when you get to see that played out within your gameplay experience, dude, it's cool as shit. But combining those 3 together, I feel that they complement each other very well because a game like Snatcher doesn't appeal to a lot of people because there's no action. And it bores them to death because you're not running around and fucking shooting people. And a game like Deadly Premonition is a bit too tongue-in-cheek, and the mechanics in it are very dated and broken. Granted, they still work. but still. And Phoenix Wright, and most people write off as a fucking weeaboo game because that's all it is to them. But if you combine all that shit together, I think it could make for a pretty cool game, but it's still going to be a niche market that it's going after, and it'll sell like 10,000 copies. That's all. And the game failed. Yeah! 10 years later, people asked for a HHHD re-release of it with like some random support of what 3D.
Yeah, and whatever platform it came on, it's going to cost $100,000 for the disc.
Yeah, and it won't happen because stupid, dumb fucking reasons, because there's all sorts of companies that are wrapped up in it. They can't all agree on it because they won't be getting a big piece of the pie. So nothing will happen with it, and everybody will just enjoy the ROM of it that's floating around on the internet. That's my game, folks. Hooray.
Fabulous game. Fabulous. Well, I mean, it's borderline plagiarism just like mine, but hey.
Fuck yeah.
I mean, because, Razorfist is the one that had the game that would draw money. Us over here are like, let's see if we can take somebody else's money and just throw it in a toilet.
I'm okay with ripping off ideas so long as they're done well. I'm a big fan of Dante's Inferno on 360 and PS3. That should say that I obviously don't have a problem with plagiarism. Plus, I've sat through an entire review of Irate Gamer. So, speaking of and keep in mind, I did it more for just like, let's see where this goes. And it didn't go anywhere. It didn't go anywhere at all.
In the corner. Proceed.
God, is he still alive? I forget.
Oh. Define life.
Right?
That's true. I remember seeing him with like a microphone to a tombstone, so I wasn't sure if that was like foretelling. I don't know. Who the fuck knows? I say terrible things every so often. People are just like, you shouldn't say that.
Especially it being the holiday season. They say that people are supposed to be nicer around this time of year. I find this is a time where more people just walk around saying, "Shitter's full."
Hey, I've
That's
been
becoming like a Merry Christmas sentiment. Shitter's full.
Dude, I'm glad that you're at least festive in the background. Where we, on the other hand, are not. But
well, no, I mean, it looks like you're just sitting amongst a bunch of Christmas presents that haven't been wrapped yet or have been unwrapped.
No, it's good stuff. I mean, there's cool things like this that not a lot of people get to see because they can't. But tell me that that's not badass. That's Sephiroth killing Aerith. Stupid fucking cunt had it coming. So I had to go and get that. When I saw that, I was just like, that is fantastic. So yeah, that's her getting stabbed. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah.
Indeed. Now, you were the one, though, that brought up that we were going to talk about holiday shit. So why don't you talk about some holiday shit, stabbing people and shit?
I mean, I think that since it's the season, there's plenty of television specials out there and holiday movies and all sorts of other shit. And I just want to talk about that because I've been watching a lot. I've been trying to make sure that I cross them all off on the list. I'm like, okay, I watched that. So one of my favorite, and I actually mentioned it on Twitter at some point, that you should not trust or respect anybody that says that Die Hard is not a Christmas movie.
Bullshit. Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
They are liars. They are bad people. They are going to actual hell, not to hell, actual hell. And they deserve it. They should their puppy should be shot at them through a potato cannon. Fuck them. To me, I've watched that movie more than any other action movie that I've ever seen, which is impressive. And that's because I consider it a holiday movie. I mean, ho ho ho, now I've got a gun.
I will see or Die Hard and raise you the Christmas movie for the ages. Stallone and Cobra.
Is Cobra a Christmas movie?
It is. It all takes place on Christmas. They even have the retro fucking Toys R Us Christmas advertisements with the family of giraffes and shit.
Uh-huh.
Whatever happened to those other giraffes, by the way? They've only got one now.
Well, corporate America, they got laid off.
I like to think that they were just killed like most other animals out there, and then they were made into furniture or some other shit that we don't really need. But fuck them. But Cobra, that's an interesting choice.
Absolutely. Right at the beginning, the whole opening store sequence, which is fucking classic, where the guy shows up on the motorcycle and he's got the 12 gauge and he just starts shooting bitches. He shoots a guy into a fucking Christmas tree and shit. That's festive. That's fucking
great.
Dude, I like to think that happens at a lot of trailer parks. So if anything, all it is it's just making real life on the big silver screen. That's fucking great. I would like them to re-release some of these movies. Stop remaking the movies, just re-release them in theaters. That'd be so much better.
Yeah. Or here's a fucking concept. Maybe release them on Blu-ray and or fucking DVD with actual goddamn special features for once. What is it about action movies where we get the most bare ass bones? Like, you open that fucking Blu-ray case for Commando or whatever, and it's like, hey, would you like to see a grainy theatrical trailer in 480 by 360 resolution? Like, fucking, you open that fucking case and basically Arnold Schwarzenegger just drags his nads across your face. That's all that fucking happens.
I mean, I
don't know what it is. Out for Justice, basically any movie I've ever reviewed. It's just fucking, it's bare ass bones bullshit.
It's the Illuminati. That's the only explanation for all of it. It's the Illuminati, and they're keeping an eye on you. They keep tabs, and they realize, like, all right, give this motherfucker something, but take everything out so he's disappointed still. And
it's always a shitty transfer too. Like, have you ever watched the original Predator on Blu-ray? Like, because there's several versions. They finally released it for real. But like early in the days of Blu-ray, all they would do was take the fucking DVD version and they would plug it into some shitty computer program that would fill in basically all the missing information through some algorithm. And the end result is Arnold Schwarzenegger's skin looks like the consistency of fucking bubble yum. Like, it's just he looks like he's made out of clay. And fucking anybody I'm sure there's people out there who've seen this, but yeah, the original fucking Blu-ray version is just, oh my god, it's dog shit.
So he looks like a PS1 cutscene.
He does. He does.
He looks like Tomba.
Dude, but so we got Die Hard and Cobra. Are there other like holiday themed action movies?
Yes.
Die Hard 2?
Oh, yes, actually.
Die Hard.
What about Santa's Sleigh starring Bill Goldberg?
I was just gonna bring up Santa's Sleigh. Fuck that movie.
Never seen it. I know that it exists, and that's it. And pictures of it started resurfacing again because of him going up against Bork Laser. Oh, God.
I remember having a discussion that came up a couple of summers ago with my good friend Mr. Berman from 8-Bit Artillery, and he said to me, we were talking about. I said the only Christmas horror picture that I'm aware of is a movie called Gremlins, meaning that it's true. It's both of those things. It's not tongue in cheek. It walks both of those right down the middle, and it's directed by fucking Chris Columbus, the Home Alone guy. So if anybody knows violence, Chris Columbus knows violence. Watch fucking Home Alone 2 if you want to see some fucking violence, let me tell you. There's another action horror movie with a Christmas theme. Anyway. And he brings up, there's Santa's Sleigh. And turns out, like, we're at Evan's buddy Joe's house. Joe has like 11 fucking DVDs. All right? There's like the Real Housewives of New York City on DVD, something Veggie Tales, and then Santa's Sleigh.
Veggie Tales.
Yeah. Like, they got kids. Of all the fucking things to be in this DVD collection, Santa's Sleigh with Bill Goldberg is number like 9 of 11.
Right next to the Christian CGI.
Right fucking next. Right, I'm serious. Veggie Tales, the pirates that don't do anything. Right next to it. Razorfist is telling us something about his past that you probably shouldn't. Anyway, how you know that is never mind.
Oh, everyone knows Veggie Tales was huge at one time. Are you fucking
really? Oh, I thought that was just something.
Oh man, they sell fucking Veggie Tales at the local stoner record store.
You're telling me something about Phoenix I didn't want to know.
I know.
Anyway, so he puts on fucking Santa's sleigh. And this is god-awful dog shit. And Bill Goldberg kills the universe with an axe dressed as Santa Claus. That's the whole fucking movie.
My favorite part is when he's in the sleigh and he's got explosive Christmas presents.
Yeah.
And he's fucking throwing them at children.
So let me get this straight. He kills the universe. I thought this movie was like some kind of grounded reality. Keep in mind, I know jack shit about it. I thought it was
Wait
just
a minute,
Bill
wait. You heard Santa Sleigh and Bill Goldberg, and you were expecting grounded reality?
Dude, I thought that he was going to just be like some big jacked up motherfucker who's dressed as Santa and then kicking the shit out of people. Keep in mind, I don't know fuck all about it other than
the idea.
To be fair, he does burst through the wall to make his entrance.
The idea behind this is that Santa is a mass murderer or something, and he's been sentenced to give children presents for thousands of years. And
now he's fucking had it.
And now his sentence is up. So he goes back to murdering the shit out of these kids. Basically, is the idea.
It's
brilliant.
That I was going to say, this is kind of awesome sounding to me.
It is awesome sounding. It's
more ridiculous. Like this is Mystery Science Theater 3000 worthy.
It's one of those great movies to talk about, but to actually sit there. This fucking movie is like an hour 50. It doesn't need to be an hour 50.
Yeah, it's not a well-made
25
movie,
minutes.
But that makes it even better because it's so bad.
Yeah. Is there at least with a room full of guys? You know, you might do all right.
Is there a decent level of like gore in it? Maybe.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Death at the dinner table.
Santa has like a golem face and like sharp fangs and shit. Like it's. Yeah.
So there's that. Happy holidays.
Okay. We need to talk about one holiday classic that I remember I watched with my mom because that's how I watched most of my horror movies, and it is called Jack Frost. You guys have seen it? The one about the fucked up snowman, not the one with Michael Keaton that came out around the same time, and that fucked up everything.
That ruined some fucking Christmas pizza parties, I guarantee it.
Dude, there was so many jokes back in the day because like Jack Frost as Michael Keaton is a very wholesome, nice family little movie.
It's actually to be honest, it's actually creepier than the one with the killer snowman. This snowman comes to life and spies on his former family.
And just in their carrot pressed up against the window and shit.
Yeah.
And that's a metaphor for days. But Jack Frost, the horror movie, was just nothing but one-liners. And the best fucking scene is that one bitch in the tub, and then he fucks her to death. And I'm just like, this right here is quality. I don't give a shit about it. You could tell me that the rest of the movie was the worst fucking thing ever. I just want to see a snowman fucking a bitch to death. Get those fucking Hooters out there and get a fucking carrot jammed in this fucking bitch. We can make veggie tail jokes until the fucking cows come home. That shit. A+. A fucking plus, man. I love it.
Oh,
it's
man. Good. See, now, I mean, how are we going to transition into fucking It's a Wonderful Life from that?
I don't know. I mean, we got pedophilic snowman. I'm not, from this point on, I'm not going to pretend Frosty is Carson Brown. He's going to be Jared Fogle. I don't know what the fuck is going on here.
Well, okay, here, we, an easier transition just because it's at least funny is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Sure.
That's a classic.
An absolute classic, featuring Johnny Galecki after his growth spurt, apparently, because he that was a cheap short joke. I'm sorry.
I always liked this movie because there was tons of shit in it that, granted, it's always exaggerated, but was relatable. You've got a dad who is trying to make ends meet, and gets screwed out of his bonus check. He wants to fuck this one hot ass bitch that he had seen and is having daydreams about her. He has family come over that he fucking hates and literally wants to murder. Like all of this shit, and then goes all out with like trying to go and decorate the house. That part I can't relate to because I'm fucking lazy, so I've never done it. The outside of my house looks like shit because it's connected to other houses. Why the fuck would I decorate it? It's
Another thing that's really relatable is getting all fucked up on a snow disc.
a snow disc.
Yeah. You know, where he sprays the shit on the snow disc and then goes down the hill at 100,000 miles an hour.
Dude, I was just like, wait, a fucking snow disc. I forgot what the fuck they were. I just call all of them sleds because I'm just, again, I'm just going to go back to being lazy.
Sleds is for folks that have money and see snow on a regular basis and know how it reacts. Snow discs are for people that, fuck you, I want to spend $9.
Yo,
Okay.
What are you fucking, seriously, what are you fucking Citizen Kane over here? Poor kids use trash can lids and shit. I mean, come the fuck on.
Okay, you guys are adorable. A poor kid, which all you had to do is come to Northside. A poor kid was using a box from a thrown-out refrigerator because we could all fit on the fucking thing. Because all the other sleds that we got from the dollar store or from Kmart, which were like $6, only one of us could fit on it, except for the fat kid who couldn't fit on any of them because it was kind of like... Okay, so this little disc right here, the little yokai one that we talked about last time, well, his ass was like sitting on it like that. So it was too fucking much, and it wasn't fun. The bad part about it is the biggest hill in the neighborhood, it goes down, and it goes into a parking lot. Several kids definitely smashed off of vehicles down at the bottom, and Family Guy made that reference, and fuck was it relatable, because I myself smashed into a police car. So, good times. And it was a Pac-Man sled, by the way, from the 70s. That shit was neat.
So, this is saying so much about your parents and their attitude towards handling children.
Oh, no, my sister was actually there, so she was the adult supervision.
Oh,
so
yeah. Here, write this 10-year-old thing down the mountain.
Well, yeah, dude, it worked. That thing was fucking great. Oh, man, all you had to do was just, like, grease up the bottom of it, and you just fucking fly down the hill. Yeah, you don't come back, like, at all. You pretty much can time travel in one of those things. It's good shit, but, dude, National Lampoons, when he did it, he's going across the fucking, like, highway and shit. Sparks are shooting out everywhere. Motherfucker's gone. It made me want to do it. You would see it in the movie, and you're like, wow, that's dangerous. You might get killed. No, it made me want to do that, despite the fact that I could die. That looked fun. A lot of fun. I need that. And the Christmas decorations that go up in flames and fucking shoot across the sky and shit. I like that. It's good stuff. Charlie Brown's It's a Wonderful Christmas, Charlie Brown, or whatever the fuck. The Charlie Brown Christmas special. That.
That one I think is all fucking preachy. There's too much Nazareth bullshit in that fucking one for me.
Dude, it was fucking Charles Schultz. Of course he was going to do.
They were playing like, what fucking Nazareth is a good man. Fuck you.
Well, now you're messing with a son of a bitch, and don't you get in my face. God damn it. If they had another hit, I would quote that one too.
I'm trying. One of my all-time favorite Christmas specials is from Married with Children. And I think it's on the very first season or the second season. But there's a nearby mall that opens up, and they have
Lakeside Mall.
The fucking Santa is on a helicopter, and he ends up falling from it, and he dies and lands in their backyard, and kids are flipping the fuck out because they think that Santa is at the Bundy's house, and they got a dead Santa body inside there, and they can't take him out because there's all these kids, and they can't clear them out. So all the fucking shit ensues, but it's great because it has a fucking warning before the episode airs that it could be traumatizing to small children, which is fucking hilarious. I mean, children got so much flack back in the day.
Fox was getting so much shit for Married with Children back in the day. It was ridiculous.
It's funny because some people, they pulled the tried and true because they're too lazy to be able to fucking argue anything, and they think this is an easy way to go and apply things. But they're like, it's so edgy, so edgy, blah, 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 edgy. You fucking retards have used it so much it lacks meaning. You
Yeah, it lacks any fucking meaning.
But you do have to appreciate it for what it was. I mean, in an era of corporate America, Fox was a heel network.
Oh,
They were. They really were. And it was funny.
Fucking the censors came out and said, "Goddamn Married with Children can't have this and it can't have that." And fucking Rupert Murdoch says, "Well, I'm terribly sorry. Now here's your next episode of A Current Affair. Fuck you." Now, if you saw A Current Affair, that's much funnier because boy, is that show fucked up.
It's pretty fun. And the great thing was when The Simpsons would make fun of it because it was on the fucking Fox network, where they'd be like, oh, where like they'd have like a show going on. I think it was Krusty the Clown or something was doing some kind of special, and the crowd keeps doing like ooh and like all the like racy fucking Fox network reactions. They're like, oh shit, we're in the Fox network studios. God damn it. And they do that at every goddamn available opportunity.
I remember one time seeing an episode of Greg the Bunny, and Greg the Bunny only went for one season because they didn't learn. They took a pot shot at Fox in their first season, and then they didn't get renewed.
Yeah.
And there's a reason, because you don't take your pot shot, and every Fox series learned this. You don't take your pot shots until you get renewed for a second season, because then they need you.
Yep.
Dude, anyway. Married with Children did that shit all the time, making fun of Fox. I mean, they made fun of quite a few other networks out there, but the balls that the writers had for that show, and they no fucks at all. And
they took more chops at ABC and CBS though.
But it was easy to when you
they had moonlighting.
The best was the communist mall Santa from Seinfeld. The fucking where the guy Elaine's dating a communist guy and he converts the Santa into a communist, and it gets like elves to roll cigars for him or some shit. It's been a while since I've seen the episode, but there was a communist Santa.
Well, if you're gonna bring up Seinfeld, you can't
improve on that.
If you're gonna bring up Seinfeld, we got to talk about Festivus.
Well, it's a Festivus miracle.
Indeed it is.
I'm going to be useless in this part of it because I don't know what it is.
Well, Festivus is a day created by what's George's father's name?
George's father's Frank Costanza.
Frank Costanza, created by Frank Costanza. Festivus, a day for the rest of us. On December the 23rd, you put up your Festivus poll. Make sure it's a good poll, straight and true. And then we begin the ritual of Festivus with the airing of grievances. Which is where everybody gets anything that's been on your mind all year long off your chest at the beginning of dinner before the meal is served.
And then it's time for the feats of strength.
And then it's time for the feats of strength, which is, if you've ever seen alligator wrestling, but with people, and then they don't exchange gifts, they exchange commentary. And that's
hold on, real quick. Because I think they have Seinfeld on fucking Hulu or some shit like that. What season is that on?
I want to say I don't remember. Fist? Do you know? He's got it on the wall, I'll bet you.
Hey, I did. It's sitting right over here, but I don't know exactly.
I want to say it's in the middle of the series.
It was one of the later ones, yeah, I want to say.
It won't be hard. Just type in Festivus, on your Google, and it'll be right there.
Yeah, the problem with Seinfeld is all the episodes are named something completely different from what the episode is about.
Well, I mean, The Simpsons is the same way.
Because it would like go off. Seinfeld goes off on tangents. You know what I mean? So like the episode where Kramer loses his chance to take a shit.
Oh,
right. That should be called. If I'm writing that episode, it's called The Turd or The Dump or fucking The Mischance or some shit. But it's called something completely different that I forget what the hell.
Well, they had to snake around different censors at NBC.
Yeah.
Right here, it shows up. The episode is called The Strike.
Yes, that one. Yeah.
It's season 9, episode 10. So because I didn't really watch much Seinfeld whatsoever. But
you're missing out, man. There's an episode where this is still the best fucking sitcom episode I've ever seen in my life, where fucking George and Jerry take a fucking limousine at the airport. They just decide to steal one because they know the guy's not going to show up because they're like saw him at the other airport like being mad because he couldn't make the flight. So they're like, fuck, his limousine's going to go to waste. He's going to take his fucking limousine. So they take his limousine and they're driving along, and then the fucking chauffeur isn't going where they want to go, and they're like, "Hey, where are we going?" It's like, "Oh, we're gonna go give your speech." It's like, what the fuck? Speech? I don't give a speech. They're like, yeah, you're O'Brien, because they said they were O'Brien because that's the name of the guy. So they're like, oh fuck, and we're gonna go pick up the other members of your party. And so the other members of the party show up, and they're like, well, would you like a copy of your speech? It's like, sure. And the Zionist overworld government and the Jews are taking over he's the leader of the Aryan nation. It's the fucking... I can't believe they got away with this shit in like 1992. I mean, it was like the second season or some shit. It was brilliant. Still like the best fucking episode of that show, in my opinion.
Dude, no joke. Tonight, I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna watch the Festivus episode. And when I typed it in, there's an actual Wikipedia, listing for it, and it has the Festivus poll.
Yes,
somebody made their own, and
because he finds tinsel distracting.
Right here. It says, there's a thing. It says celebrations, airing of grievances, feats of strength, the aluminum pole, Festivus dinner, Festivus miracles. So date December 23rd. And then I have to see this shit now. I always I love holiday themed shit just because you only get it once a year. But good ones, dude, that lasts a fucking lifetime. I've had holiday movies and specials that I've watched when it wasn't like November or December, or the Halloween ones. I've watched like Roseanne's Halloween episodes, dude. I'll watch those all the fucking time. Those ones are the shit. But there's, I don't know, another Christmas movie I have to throw out real quick. Fucking Scrooged with Bill Murray.
Of course.
Scrooge is that one's good as fuck. God damn, I should just type in Christmas movies.
You know what no one talks about? A Muppet Christmas Carol is fucking hilarious.
Dude, I haven't seen that since I was a kid.
Oh man, you got to throw that one on. That's a good one.
Let's see. Well, Gremlins is definitely a Christmas
Gremlins
movie.
is fantastic. Imagine that your father brings you something cute for Christmas and it tries to eat your mother.
You know what I watched, and I don't know. Maybe I have to watch it again, but I didn't think it was all that great. I watched Bad Santa. Wasn't impressed.
I didn't care for Bad Santa very much. However, I will say what is interesting is if you've seen Bad Santa and you've also seen Friday, the midget kills Bernie Mac in Bad Santa. If you go back to Friday with Ice Cube, Bernie Mac was fooling around with the midget's wife in Friday. I think Bad Santa was a revenge killing for what went on in the events of Friday.
Makes sense.
So everyone, you are now commanded to watch those movies back to back. Draw your own conclusion.
One I didn't even think about, and I like the movie a lot, is Trading Places.
That's sort of a holiday, because that goes from Thanksgiving on to
it does,
New
but
Year.
I mean, the later portion of it, when shit's really hitting the fan.
Oh yeah,
during the Christmas portion of it, because I mean that's when the dudes, you also, if you watch that, then you have to watch Coming to America.
Sure.
Just because I mean it's a continuation of the entire thing. But dude, that shit and the stuff that they fucking say in that, man, you won't see that in movies now unless they pretty much just want to be shut down immediately because everybody's a fucking little bitch. Didn't like Elf. Watched that. Didn't like Elf.
I saw Elf. Mrs. Yelkea showed me Elf a couple of years ago. I was surprised. I expected it to suck far harder, and it didn't. So I kept my expectations on the ground, and it was above the ground.
See, I ended up getting dragged into it with opposite because I was told how good it was, and I watched it, and I mean it's amusing, but I just I've seen it once, I'll never watch it again.
It's no Gremlins.
No.
It's no Santa's sleigh, I'll tell you. But
well, we've got a Christmas Story.
Christmas Story. That one. See, that's one that you don't have to watch because no matter where you go, it'll be on. It'll be on somewhere.
But does TNT still...
TNT and TBS. 2 fucking channels play that movie all day. And you know what? It's still pretty damn great.
It's strange to think that a movie like that has hit a status where it can play for 24 hours, and that's actually like part of the holiday season.
It is, isn't it?
Like people are waiting for that. And to be honest, I don't mind that all that much because, one, I don't watch TV really at all, but that's something that I would probably stop and watch. And there's tons of times where I've missed all sorts of shit on television because I wasn't there to watch it at that one time. I'm too used to the internet when I pull it up and I watch it whenever I want. That's pretty much how I treat everything now. But any other holiday movies or specials you motherfuckers want to toss out before we move on?
Well, there's a ton, but it looks like Razorfist is tapped out.
Oh no!
You were making a frowny face. Don't bullshit me.
We talked about pretty much all of them.
Oh, we did not talk about all of them. No, fucking
all the
way,
ones
man.
I give a flying fuck about.
Hey, we didn't talk about Garfield's Christmas special, so.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. We didn't talk about Garfield's Christmas special.
Pretty good. Not bad.
Pretty good. I mean, was it some candy cane lasagna up in there? Here,
the Grinch.
I was going to bring that up at first. I don't fucking like the Grinch.
How could you? That makes
I know this is going to be a heat section. I don't fucking like the Grinch. I like the book. I enjoy the book. I like the song. Fuck that movie with Jim Carrey. And I don't like the animated one either. I just don't.
If you like the book, how do you hate the animated one then? I
don't like the animation style. It's just it's gritty and I just don't care for it. I don't like the voice acting. And it's I know it's a product of its time, but I don't like to watch it. I'll read the book and I'll listen to the song.
I'm picturing everyone in this fucking chat right now is picturing Yell Chaos sitting around reading Dr. Seuss now. This is a very surreal experience.
Dude, you think I'm good with words by accident?
He's sitting in the glow of Christmas lights by the
I wondered why you kept using words like flobnobbery and zibnabbery.
You said them.
And hop on pop. Hop and Pop could be so many different movies if you really think about it.
I haven't seen Ernest Saves Christmas since I was a kid.
You've never... Ernest Saves Christmas. There's another one that sucks, but I watch it anyway because I think Jim Varney's funny. And, of all the Ernest movies, that one's probably... I won't say it's the weakest. No, I'm going to say that. It's the weakest.
Well, fuck it. And look, we can end this on a high note. I'll Be Home for Christmas with Jonathan Taylor Thomas. Absolute classic. Probably one of the best movies ever in existence. Jonathan Taylor Thomas, one of the best actors.
You think you got heat now? Boy, man, as soon as the people hear about that, what do you
want to know what'll be great about it is I'll have that movie on.
That kid ruined WrestleMania 11, by the way.
Fucking Jonathan Taylor Thomas is what happens when 90s hair decides to grow a human being.
I like to think like
he's the apotheosis of 90s hair, isn't he? just so 90s hair. He had that same Devon Sawa fucking, early Brad Pitt kind of. Oh man, you just want to.
I can't believe you drug up Devon Sawa.
Oh man,
the fucking kid from Little Giants. Of all of how 90s can you be?
we cannot
backstroke and fucking Pert Plus or what is
Leonardo DiCaprio was a big part of that.
Oh,
it was. Oh man, yeah, fucking Leonardo DiCaprio. Jesus Christ, 90s hair incarnate.
My gosh. But to his credit, Jonathan Taylor Thomas was on Home Improvement, and Home Improvement, they had their Christmas specials, and Tim Allen set some shit on fire. So there's that. I mean, what's a Christmas if it's not on fire, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, to be continued. We'll catch you next week. This has been the Hate Bit Podcast. I want to remind everybody to check us all out on the social media. Subscribe to the channel. Check us all out here on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that horse stuff. And, there's a great big kitty right there on camera for each and every one of you. Everyone, wave goodbye to the kitty. I am the mighty Yell Chaos. Joining me has been the very sexy Alpha Omega Sin and his kitty.
Me and Loki say bye. We're going to watch Christmas movies. And
Christmas movies for them, and the holiday deficient Razorfist.
The cat deficient Razorfist. God fucking speed, folks. Thanks for joining us and your whores.
Thank you very much. You guys are great. We've been the Hate It Podcast. We'll see you next week. And we'll pick up our holiday discussion next week. Bye-bye. I forgot to call them cocksuckers, didn't I?